basically, you start your garden by two ways. Either you buy these little saplings, जो $2 की मिलते हैं, and then you put them into a bigger pot, or you put them into a ground. Now, the choice of a container gardener versus ground gardening is either because of space or because of people like me who don't have very good soil in the backyard, and it is too costly to get the whole thing changed, so we go for container gardening. We use the ground space, but we put containers on it. And then container gardening, what I have personally seen is that you have less of the snails and slugs problem as opposed to full garden. So that's the first thing कि अगर आप बाजार से ये लेके आते हो, so how do you plant it?
So how do you know घर का soil अच्छा है कि नहीं?
One thing to that is you can see कि when you touch it, if it is too clay kinds, you can make a laddu out of it. That means your soil is not very good. And
it's not very good.
Yeah. It has to have fibers.
It can grow succulents. Yeah. It can grow succulents, but it won't grow vegetables or flowers. Topsoil is like a layer of soil, 2-3 inches of feet depending what you need. Then they can ask you to change the whole layer completely, or they can ask you to do these additives, add some additives into it to make it more productive. So the best thing is just go to the nursery, and all these things are like free of cost. You can just walk out of it. It's no obligation, and
even in the package, whatever you are doing. Up here, I noticed before that in India, I've never noticed that, right? Everything comes with the instructions. If simply you follow the instructions, you are your own master. Yeah. So for the container like this, any container, if you put little pebbles down there, it helps them to drainage the excess water, so it doesn't, make the clay goes bad. So I just put some pebbles. And recently she was posting some pictures of the raised bed, right? Raised bed also good for vegetables and hard. It prevents the hard work because if you have your own home, you put it once and you are done for like long time. And it also gives you the access to go collect your vegetables and take care of, and it also less water. So raised bed also you can
actually you are not wasting the water to go drain somewhere else instead of putting in the bed.
Right. Yeah, and
plus also you condition your soil, utna hi area mein you can put some good quality soil rather than pure backyard mein.
Yeah, and the reason why I did raised bed was because my soil is really good. Anything I grow, especially weeds, grow really well. But the problem that I had was that I had a lot of earwigs, snails, slugs. All of this can be prevented, especially in the seedling stage. Now, with a raised bed, you can even just directly put your seeds in. But if you have a garden and you want to put in your vegetables, all the insects can easily eat away the seeds.
What is a raised bed?
So a raised bed is nothing but you
4 walls.
Yeah.
So give your garden a
so
house.
you can a couple of ways. And again, Pinterest has been really helpful for me to find out how to do a raised bed. You get these cement blocks. So you can either put say 5 like
cinder blocks.
Those blocks or cinder blocks. Cinder is a little expensive. Redwood is again very expensive. So you can go to Home Depot and just get 4 logs of wood. That's what I did. I just got the 4 slabs of wood, made the 4 corners, and I just put in these empty cartons at the bottom because that's biodegradable and it prevents these insects from creeping in the seedling stage. Yeah. Most of the pests attack them in the seedling stage.
It's like a kind of transition between hybrid between a pot and putting it right in
Yes,
the
yes,
So
because
if
your
you
roots
don't
have
want to
enough
spend too much
spend.
money, you can find those accessories to make a raised bed from the Crave. People who are not using, sometimes they put on the free and you collect if you're too crazy about it. And if you really want to do it, you just have to feel doing it. That's always fine. I was looking this whole time.
Like the
but
way
was
I
not
did
lucky
my
enough
raised
to find
bed
it.
was some friend was moving into California and they had these crates, and the only thing you have to watch out for with respect to the wood that you're using is that it shouldn't be treated with any of
So you can just search.
Yes,
and
just
all wood will have a mark on them. You just have to look for it, and you'll see that it's printed. And once you just, find out the number or whatever is printed on that, if you go Google, it'll tell you whether it's been treated or not. So that's a system that's already been put in place.
On the bottom as well as on the process.
No, not the bottom. Bottom is left open. You put, the way you start is that you create your space, clear out the space, put cartons, lay out cartons or newspapers, put it at the bottom, and then put your raised bed, put, the 4 walls.
Make the frame like whatever.
And then you do the seedling.
I have a picture.
We can post these pictures on the event page because यहाँ पे I think it's too sunny. Even if we try and show it, you won't be able to, and we have smaller screens. So we can
have a lot of questions. I think it's like taking time. So
no. Go ahead. That is what it's all about.
So let me show you. This is the baby, seedling of tomato or even can paper, red paper. I mixed up because they both look same.
you had the potting soil, only potting soil.
Yeah, potting soil, or if you don't want to waste money in potting soil because it's बहुत महंगा आता है. This is like probably $8, right, Shweta, or $5-6. So what I do, I buy the compost. I use my this ground tractor. Yeah, anything compost. I make my own compost too. So even you guys, if you have your own home, what you can do, don't put any leftover food in your kitchen bin, right? So vegetable peels, fruits, eggshells, and paper towels, anything like that, you can keep adding it. And I think in 4 days it will be full, right? So now it's time to go to green bin. Don't put in the green bin. Find it like a big, this much big plastic bin, like that, and put some soil under.
Yeah, first soil.
And then make a layer. Then over it, just if you have trees in your backyard, you will have the dry leaves anyway. You're gonna throw them away. Collect them. Don't throw them. That's very good compost for the plants. You can layer that, and again the next week you'll have again this garbage coming. So keep layering it. Little bit of soil, little bit of leaves and garden waste, whatever is coming from your garden. Just keep layering it. And when it's full, leave it for like 6 months.
What does the smell like?
It is stinky.
No, if you cover it, it doesn't stink.
So if I, one of my neighbor had like one of those, like the rolling kind of composter, and I was very tempted to go grab it. She was giving it away, but I wasn't sure how strong the smell.
Can I say a compost bin?
No, when you work with it, of course, you have to have a big heart, of course. You have to tolerate them, man. It's just tolerate.
Interest, maybe Anita, you can create like a special event, like an ongoing event, and all the gardening communication can be there because you listen to it now, you go home, 90% is gone, like at least for people like me.
She's recording.
And and let's say if there is somebody who's passionate about gardening and lives in Cupertino, usne kuch dala, so at least it will give you an alert that there is something happening, go grab it. Like I know that master gardeners, they have this community garden in Sunnyvale, and you can again go and talk to them, chat to them. They have one in Bangalore. The next one is on 18th April in Sunnyvale, something very similar to what you said about. If you are going to buy plants, the exotic ones, please go first thing. Like I think there are lines out there.
They were announced at 10 o'clock. I went by 10 o'clock and it was all the exotic stuff was all done. 9 o'clock. It started at 1 hour. Within 1 hour, the exotic stuff was all gone.
So if you are really into something special, go early. Go with your rolling bags because it's difficult to carry plants around. And if you want to go only for information, then go later in the season because all these vendors have sold out their stuff and they are hanging out there and you can talk to them and exchange information. So it depends what you really want out of that thing. So one thing is done.
Yeah, so the plant, you go by the leaves. Really, maybe seedling. Go as deep you can because this is very fragile.
What is your
breakfast? Break the stem and the plant will die. So not too deep, just go in the middle. And make sure you press it tight.
So Vandana, I have something else. One of the Pinterest hacks or something that I learned was toilet rolls or kitchen towels. You cut them into pieces. put this first.
Oh, that's a good
It kind of creates a little greenhouse for the seedling. It supports the plant at the baby stage. Plus, if you are doing this in the ground, जो आपके snails, slugs or other rodents वो नहीं आते.
Also for the seeding,
You know,
when you sow the seeds,
yeah, when you
you
sow
can
the
sow
seeds,
directly into this.
so create the hole like this and put in your seed in there, and that way when the seed grows, it has its own little area, and this will eventually dissolve within your soil. And even if it doesn't, you can kind of later, when your plant is strong, pull that out, use a cutter, cut it off, and you're off. So it is a hack that has worked out pretty well for me. It doesn't cost you anything. We have so many rolls lying around. And
That's how you do. And
one tip that I have, which I learned from my experience, was that start with tomatoes and peppers. They are more hardier
and they're more simplest
Do not try with melons, because melons, especially the transferring stage, is very tricky. You touch the root or something happens, it's gonna die. So
and most of the
even
seedlings,
the sunflower, you sow them directly into the ground. They are very fragile. I did it because I wanted to start early. And yeah, see, they're very. This is sunflower. So the stem is very delicate. It just breaks in fragments.
yeah. So for sunflower, if you're planting in the ground, again use one of these things.
yeah. So like what Vandana, she started in February. She had already started sowing, which you cannot do. Like you have to wait for all the frost to be done before you can sow outside. Like even now, we've just had that temperature dip, which is not good if you had sowed outside.
Yeah, they almost the day and night temperature. So you have to get it inside.
So again, when I was talking about seedlings, like let's say this is your pot, and if you put this deep in, and if you put your seed in, so basically you're just making a cover for the seed, and as the seed grows, it gets the support with it. So try and use
Also
things
having
like
an
that.
idea that how deep seeds should grow, like this one, 1.5 inch, 2 inches.
And the other thing I did was, so I have an ongoing battle with snails, slugs, and squirrels. Ongoing. So so last year, so here are the things that you should not do in gardening, and here are the things when enthusiastic, ignorant people like me get into it. So last year there was a sale at Lowe's, and there was a 20-pound bag of sunflower seeds for bird food for $4. So I'm like, man, this is the best deal. And the cheap imni was like, I have to buy it. So I kept on putting it out. And subah dala, office chale gaye, shaam ko ekdam safachat, clean, and I was like, oh my god, I'm feeling birds. I did not realize that I have
Those birds are eating your
no, those were not birds. I have squirrels as pets now. So the whole neighborhood squirrels have
coming to your place.
yeah. So
Reminding me of something regarding this question.
squirrels.
Actually, we had a twofer.
Okay.
Still have actually. So
As I said, for me also, it is I am still having that ongoing battle with the
So I
squirrels.
checked with the folks in the Mehta yesterday. What they told is that the only thing that has worked for them successfully is to get nets and put it down.
yeah, that's what I got away from
Snails really. They eat all tomatoes.
So they eat all the
My base is
So for snails,
you can put the coffee. You can, what do you do for snails?
so what I've done is, these
You can
things,
cover the coffee.
I put it in coffee water and then put it in the soil.
I checked
And then I put coffee around it. So somehow snails,
Shweta, you soak this in coffee water? Okay.
and then put it in. Only because my snails kept on eating everything. But you can also put coffee powder, not your Nescafe, the ground coffee. And for the coffee thing that I was talking, so I think what we are doing right now is we are mushing all these subjects, which is okay. So there's so when you do things like coffee and also this is what we call organic gardening. And coffee works the best. Starbucks will give you free ground coffee that just ki coffee ban chuki hai. They have to throw it anyway. So you can go with your big dabba and tell them, can you just fill it for me, and they'll happily do it for you. For people who are working, your offices will have those coffee machines. So like my cleaning lady of the office, janitorial person, so usko pata hai mera dabba kahan hai, and all the dump keeps on going there, and by the end of the day I've got this much coffee dabba. So I share it with my neighbors and all that.
So what do you do with after that?
You just sprinkle it around the plants. Just be careful, coffee is acidic, so you don't want to like too much it. Treat it like a salt.
That's how I collect.
What about tea leaves?
So tea leaves are good to enrich.
Fry them and eat them.
But make sure
Dish, right? French dish.
Otherwise it attracts rodents. So if you are brewing your tea the English way,
Yeah, it's really
bag and especially that's fine. But if you good wala chai and you're using the chai patti, don't do that. So these are things that you learn.
Now that he's not getting to them, they're eating up all the basics.
Get the snails and food for them and buy snails. You just pour it.
Just pour it. Yeah, just
That helps with putting the snails away.
yeah, it does it away. और दूसरा snails are total बेवड़ास. They love beer. इसने बताया ही होगा. Yeah, I mean they love beer.
I just did yesterday.
हाँ.
I mean, beer worked for the slugs, not really for snakes.
Snails, they are more for slugs. Yeah.
Slugs. So what happens? You put some like beer in a little bowl in between your vegetables, like quite flavorful.
इस टाइप का ले लो, this kind, ताकि वो चढ़ भी जाए बेचारों को, मतलब ऐसा ना हो कि जय माता दी करते करते वो चढ़ ही ना पाए. So
It is white mouth. Put some salt in there and put it in between the vegetables.
So slugs are good.
Over the night you'll see in the
they
morning.
are, but they eat away your
a
plants.
lot of slugs taking bath.
They also eat away your plants. They are
Then you
good.
take
They are
dump
good
into the
evil
green
kind
bin.
of a thing.
That's it. Yeah.
Take
Take that and dump it to the green bin and they will be recycling somewhere. That's how you get rid of the sludge. Snails, I literally tried everything. Practically doesn't work, I'm telling you, because I dumped the whole box of Sogo, $22 from Costco. And still they are there in tons. So what do I do now? I put the gloves on and I water them, like water the plants. When you start watering the plants in the hose, they creep out. Or in the night, when you, it's like dark, turn on the light, you see they are crawling out from the plants. They're crawling out. For some reason, they come out in the night. I don't know why.
Party.
Then you just pick them up,
भूत रात के
pick them up in a glass and keep picking until they are gone. Because they recycle a lot. They just multiply. So that's how, I mean, you can try. There are several other ways. Of course, you can, just like Shweta says, Google is the best guru for everywhere.
I have a question. This is about how to start. My question is how to make them survive.
I agree.
And outdoor. I end up giving too much water and fertilizer when I should be giving them.
So there's a compost comes for indoor plants. Always go to the lowest. No, the normal one. A day 30. It's probably 8 or 9 water. And it has little bit just like 5 transcans in like 1 month. That's it. And watering is a key to save the plants. If you water too much, they will die. If you water too less, they will die. So you have to figure it out. So if you don't know how to figure it out, they have this is called a little worm thingy. They have in every shrine.
वो ना $8 पे this छोटा सा worm. So basically what it is it's a terracotta worm. Now you know how terracotta will absorb water and all that stuff. So if it is gila, you don't need to water. If it is dry, you water. If you want to go one step more,
It turns black. It turns black. You dig it, leave the plant. Now it turns black eventually if it is too dry. So now you know that your plant don't need water.
नहीं terracotta का वो आता है छोटा सा worm बना हुआ है. बाहर gardening area उसमें डालते हैं because your garden is dry or it is old. It kind of indicates that wash भी मिल जाते हैं home delivery जहाँ पे ये बड़े होते हैं वहाँ पे होता है